tiger fans. This is Colleen Houck and coming at you from my office. And I thought I'd do a quick video for you today. I'm going out to see a play with my husband tonight, so I actually put on hair and my makeup and, you know, did everything up, so which is rare for me. Usually I'm sitting here writing in my very comfortable clothes with no makeup on. So I figured since I already have to get dressed up anyway, I'd do a video for you and take advantage of the fact that I made the effort. So I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the dragons of Tiger's Voyage. The dragons are my favorite, actually the dragon is my favorite mythological creature. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them and show you some of my dragon collection while I do it. So my dragons, very important thing to know about them is that my dragons are Asian, so they don't have wings. I had a very cool, I got to meet Christopher Paolini at the Pacific Northwest Booksellers Association, and we got to talk about dragons. Tiger's Voyage was just coming out, and I told him, you know, we changed the cover of Tiger's Voyage for you. And he goes, what? And I said, yeah, it's true, because my cover was originally supposed to be green, like Tiger's Destiny ended up being green, but Tiger's Voyage was supposed to be green. And his book was coming out, his final book, which I have on my shelf somewhere, was coming out with a dragon on the cover that was green the same month. And we wouldn't want any confusion there, so my publisher decided to change my cover to the standard purple that you see now. Here's my Tiger's Voyage purple book. So that's how the cover ended up being purple. It was originally supposed to be green. Anyway, so I talked to him about my dragons, and he said, oh, tell me about your dragons. And I said, well, mine are different from yours. You know, they don't have wings, and so they're Asian dragons. So this is my first one, Long. And I'm going to talk about where I got all their names from too. So the red dragon, which is the first dragon Kelsey and Ren meet on their trip, is Long. And the word long is actually the word for dragon in Chinese. And so what I did to create all my names was I just gave them, I looked up the Chinese word for that color. So the Jun is red and Long is dragon. So basically his name means red dragon. So he's pretty easy. Was pretty easy to name. So this is Long. Long is red, and he has black on him as well. So my mom is actually a really great meticulous painter, so she painted all these dragons for me that we collected. They didn't actually come this color. He was already red to begin with, but he was a bright red. And so we kind of darkened him up and then made him black. And when you can see, we painted along his scales here are all black, and we added little black scales in there, and you can see his eye right there. His eye is bright red, and his tongue is red, I think. I don't know if you can see his tongue. His tongue is red too. So yes, he has a black beard and a red iris. His eyes are red. Black talons, which you can see here. His black talons. And he also has antlers, and you can see his antlers on the back of his head. Whoops. Back here, and his antlers are really soft and velvety like a deer. So Long is the dragon of the West, and he's a pretty friendly dragon as far as these dragons go, but he likes to have his space too. His symbol is the stars, so when Kelsey gets her kimono robe from the from Lady Silkworm, when she goes to her temple, they have symbols that come up on the robe as time goes on, and the symbols have different symbolize each of the dragons. So his symbol is the star. So when you see the stars, that was him. And each of my dragons, I call them the dragons of the five oceans. So they each are kind of governing over a major body of water, and he is the dragon of the Pacific. Long is. So that means he kind of guards over the ocean, and he's responsible for the stuff that happens in it, although he doesn't really pay as much attention as he should. He's mostly concerned about his home in the heavens, which is where his residence is. So his duties, according to my dragon chart, let's see. He keeps the stars lit. He protects the earth from comets, meteors, inspires space exploration, and is responsible for scientific discoveries in astronomy and math. I picked for his inspiration Jimon Hanshu. I don't know how to say his name. I'll have to look up the pronunciation later, but I picked him for his inspiration. I imagine him a gorgeous black man, actually, in his human form. So that's Long Jun. He's my first dragon that they encounter, and he's got quite a personality. Okay, next dragon up is Quinn Long, which I don't know if if I'm pronouncing his name right either. Quinn Long is actually, he's gorgeous, I think. I think he's my prettiest dragon that I came up with. I love his color. He's iridescent, and he's blue, and he's got all these feathers on him. So we glued these purpley feathers on him. He also has antlers, but he's got these gorgeous feathers that come off, and his skin is very, brilliant, and he's got all these different like peacock color shades on him. He's beautiful, but he sleeps all the time. You don't see him much in the book. His eyes are kind of golden. You can see his eyes, and his tongue's purple too. Okay, so his appearance, according to my notes, are his cheeks and his brow up here is feathered. His scales shimmer with blue and purple. He has feathers down his back, although we didn't actually glue feathers down his back just because they wouldn't fit. And he has golden talons. Did we do that right? Yep, we got a little gold right here. And a purple tongue and a crown of feathers. So he is my prettiest dragon, I think. And I love his color. So Quinn Long, Quinn is blue and Long dragon. And he's the dragon of the south. He's a very lazy dragon. He sleeps all the time. He sleeps on this island mountain. And instead of guarding his domain like he's supposed to, he sends his pet to guard for him. And his pet is a kraken, which is one of my favorite things about Tiger's Voyage. I love the kraken, and I love that Phanindra saves the day there. I think that's awesome. And I love the kraken almost as much as I love the dragon. But I don't have a cool kraken figurine. I need to find one somewhere. I've got like a squid, but it's not quite the same thing, and it's rubbery, and anyway, so he gets easily irritated. He's lazy. He sleeps all the time. When he snores, he makes clouds with his breath, and so the whole island is enshrouded in fog. Okay, so his symbol is clouds on the kimono, and he's in charge of the Southern Ocean. And his responsibilities is he cares for all bodies of water. He governs rain. He inspired early explorers, and he guards ocean creatures. So he has a natural affinity for creatures like the kraken, although he doesn't really do his job as well as he should. So that's an unfortunate truth about these dragons. They're not very responsible. They like their freedom. So that is Quinn Long. Who is next? My green dragon is next on the tour. So my green dragon, he actually is one of my favorites. Oh, and I forgot who inspired my blue dragon. My blue dragon, my inspiration for him is Chow Yun Fat. So I imagine his human side, his persona. So he can change into a human just like Ren and Kishan can, only he can do it at will. Well, Ren and Kishan can too, but they have more limitations. So, but he can change into a human when it suits his purposes. So I imagine Chow Yun Fat is my lazy blue dragon there. Okay, so on to green. So my green dragon is a really cool dragon, and I imagine he kind of looks more like a crocodile. His face is really long like a crocodile. And he can camouflage easily in trees, which is why we painted him the colors he is. So you can kind of see he's kind of got different shades of green in there and brown. And his antlers up here actually look like tree branches so that he hides easily. He's got a gold tongue, as you can see, and gold eyes, and his talons are gold. So let's see. So his appearance, scales resemble overlapped green leaves. So he's kind of got crocodile scales, but they look like leaves, so he can camouflage. He has a brown corn silk mane. So we didn't really paint him that way, but he's supposed to have like these long, silky hairs, like a lion's mane almost, that come off his head. And he's got a bushy beard and tail. His tail is supposed to have a long, bushy part to it as well. And his twisted, branchy antlers actually are covered with moss. So he can blend into the forest really easy. So he's like a forest dragon. His character is he's a cheater, and he's smart, and he likes games. And actually the whole scene with the green dragon was my nod to World's Most Dangerous Game, which if you have not read yet, you really should. It's a classic book, a fantastic story. And so he's a hunter, and instead of being hunted as a dragon, he hunts other things. And his symbol is lightning. His domain is the earth, which it kind of goes with his fascination. He likes being on land as opposed to Quinn Long, who likes to be, oh, this is Lucong, by the way, Lucong, the green dragon. So Quinn Long, which I can never remember unless I look them up. I can never remember what I call these guys unless I look up their names because they're too hard for me. I remember Long, and that's usually about it. So Quinn Long, the blue dragon, he likes being on the ocean, and he feels more comfortable with that. Long Jin, the red dragon, prefers space. This one prefers being on the ground, on Earth. He blends in better. He likes the trees. He likes the mountains. That's where he likes to be. His ocean he's in charge of is the Indian Ocean. And his responsibilities include caring for growing things, protector of the earth, helps crops grow, inspire the development of paper and books. Which is kind of wrong for the tree dragon to inspire cutting down trees to make books and paper, but he likes earthy things. That's his thing. His inspiration, he's a Russian dragon, actually. So I picked for him an actor, which I don't think I've ever seen him in anything, but I picked Alexander Domogarov, and I just liked the way he looked when I looked him up. And he seemed like kind of a handsome-y, you know, kind of clever, hunter-y kind of guy. So that's who I picked for his human side. Okay, so that is Lucong, my green dragon. Next one is my favorite, which is the gold dragon. And this is our gold dragon here. You can kind of see him. We painted him using different kinds of gold. So this was already a gold, I think, maybe not the base. I think we painted the base, but we added in some bronze and some gold onto him to make him really flashy and pretty. So this is Jenselong, and Jenselong, Jensa means gold. His appearance, he has a ginger eye, which we just did kind of the bronze color. There you go. And his scales actually look like gold coins. So all of his scale variegation and everything, like here you can see we did different colors here. All of his scales and his paint and everything is supposed to look like coins all meshed together. So his hide looks like a whole bunch of coins. He has spikes instead of horns, although this dragon that we found, we couldn't find one that had spikes, but he has like all these, like a array of like a dinosaur spikes coming out of his head. Kind of like a triceratops, I guess. And his spikes also go down his back. So he's supposed to have spikes, not just these little ones, but big fat spikes that go down his back. And he has a red tongue, which I think we just gave him bronze. And he is the dragon of the north, and he is a greedy little chap. He is constantly looking for bargains. He sinks ships on purpose on the ocean so he can collect the gold and the treasure. So he's obsessed with treasure. And that's kind of a, you know, everybody, most dragon lore, they have a hoard and they love to collect their treasure, and he is classic dragon like that. His brothers, not so much. They don't really have a hoard of things or, you know, precious metals and things, but this fellow does. And he doesn't only collect coin. He collects art and sculpture, and he is a collector. He will take anything that's considered precious. He also is responsible for sinking a lot of the boats and the planes in the Bermuda Triangle, and he is the whole reason the Bermuda Triangle is bad, because that's kind of his territory, and that's his favorite place, and a lot of ships go through there, and so he sinks the boats and downs the planes and takes everything he can. So his domain, his responsibilities take care of the natural resources of the earth. So he knows where all of the veins of gold and all the mountains of ore would be found. His ocean that he's in charge of is the Atlantic Ocean, which makes sense because that's where the Bermuda Triangle is. He guards the Earth's treasures. He creates gems and minerals, which he can create those, and he inspired the Industrial Revolution. My favorite thing about the Gold Dragon is my inspiration for him. The actor who inspired him is Wallace Shawn, who, if you don't know who Wallace Shawn is, he's the Sicilian on The Princess Bride. So he's the guy who says, "Inconceivable!" And then, you know, and he's just crazy. So if you're a Star Trek fan, you might also have watched Deep Space Nine at some point. And he also played the Grand Nagus, who is the Ferengi in charge of all the Ferengis. And the Ferengi, if you know anything about Star Trek or the Ferengi, they are hoarders, and they love their golds and their, what do they call their gold? I can't think of it right now. Anyway, but they collected it, they traded with it, they bargained with it. They're very, very greedy, and so he is perfect for this dragon. That Wallace Shawn is it. I'm telling you, if they make the movie of this, they have to get Wallace Shawn because he is just perfect for this. I mean, this part was written for him. In fact, when I wrote this dragon, all the words, I can hear Wallace Shawn in my head saying all the lines. So it's just perfect. There's nobody else that could do that one. Okay, we come to our last dragon, and this is the white dragon, and his name is Yinbilong, which Yinbilong means more than white, I think, but I cannot recall right at this moment what it was that Yinbi means. I think it means sparkling or ice or crystal. I think it means more than just white. I think it means something else. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly, but I think that's what I think it was like sparkling or something. Anyway, he has a shiny body that looks like ice crystals, and he is the dragon featured on Tiger's Voyage. You can see kind of the ice crystals on his body. And let's see, his horns are icicles that just stick out from his side of his head. He has a blue eye, which you can see, a blue tongue and blue claws. And I think the paint's coming off his, yeah, you can see his blue claws on the back better. There's his blue claws. His belly shimmers like the aurora borealis, and you can kind of see, I'm still trying this side, on his scales. We tried to make the paint really iridescent, and we put some like blues and pinks and greens along with the ivory, and then put a lot of iridescent sparkle on it to make him shiny, super shiny. It might show better on that side. Super shiny. And his tail has icicle spikes on the end of it too. He's the oldest of the brothers. All these dragons are brothers. Their parents are Mother Earth and Father Time. So they have quite an interesting backstory and back history, these dragons do. They've been around for a long time. And I was playing with the idea of writing novellas for these guys, so I might do that at some point. His symbol is snow. So on the kimono that Kelsey gets, you'll see snow for him. And his domain is the solar system. So this guy inspires space travel And let's see what else. He watches over ice caps and the North and South Pole, keeps the Earth on its axis and rotating around the sun properly. He inspired democracy, law, order, revolutions, philosophy, and reformers. So he is the wise dragon. He's the oldest. He's got this real pretty fur on his back, too. I really like. I don't know if we actually put that in the story, but my mom, when she was helping me do these dragons, she's like, let's put some really pretty fur on him. And I really kind of like it. I don't know if you can see it, but I really do like the addition of the fur. It makes him really fancy. And my inspiration for him was Ian McKellen. I think he could be played by a number of actors, actually, but I like the idea of having an older, wiser, kind of experienced human side to this dragon. He's really smart, and I think he's a little bit too smart in some places, in some cases. Not as patient as he could be. He's got an interesting palace, though. His ice palace is really deep, 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 deep underwater. And everything in there is made of ice. And I've seen some hotels online that are all ice hotels. And I can't imagine staying in one, but it's a cool idea. And then his, like, the trees and the landscape outside are these tiny little beings or little creatures, ocean creatures that are bioluminescent. So his trees are all lit up. They're like ice trees, but inside they're almost like aquariums. And then they're full of these little like blue iridescent creatures or green iridescent creatures to make them colorful. So he's got a very interesting home. I love his home. So there you have it. Those are the dragons of the Tiger's Curse series. I hope you love these guys as much as I do. I think they're fascinating and fun and interesting. And yeah, so there you go. That's it for now. Have a great day. Take care, everybody.